do what you can. If there's any way that you can volunteer, you can give to an organization like the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, the Red Cross, Salvation Army. These are the people that are on the ground. There's people from the Bay Area where we do the broadcast, tons of electricians and carpenters, heavy machinery, because the power people, they can't get in there to repair the lines because there's such a mess in there, and it could be months. Could be months for a lot of areas to even see power. Months, folks. And here's the staggering news. I was telling Daniel before we went on the broadcast today that roughly just 10% of the population were insured. 10%. There's a lot of poverty. A lot of people just simply can't afford the insurance. But that's where we're at here. And it's no wonder Rick Rutmuth, interesting last name from Fox News, he's the lead meteorologist there. He said that Michael, and I quote, was the fourth most powerful storm to make landfall in the U.S. when measuring by wind, which topped out at 155 miles per hour, and the third most powerful in terms of pressure at 919 millibars. Michael was the first storm of its magnitude to make landfall in the Panhandle since record-keeping began in 1851. Former President Barack Obama, in a tweet, he asked Americans to help rebuild. He says America is always at our best when we look out for each other. That's something that I can support. We do need to look out for one another. 11 people, by the way, the death toll. 11 people. Mexico Beach, Florida. Looked as if a bomb had gone off as residents emerged to tally their losses. 23 miles up the coast. And then Panama City blocks of beachfront homes were literally obliterated. Unrecognizable landscape. It reminds me, and probably it's not as bad, but it reminds me of Charlie in Punta Gorda, where that was meant for us. It jogged 90 miles to the south, missed Tampa Bay. We were lucky because it would have caused that kind of devastation here. But that's what I said to SRN News when they asked me what I saw. I was on Janet Parshall's America explaining what was going on, and that's what I saw. It just like a bomb went off. And, when you have wind speed at that velocity, and it was 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then when they were able to get into these houses where people just did not evacuate, unfortunately, they found these dead bodies. And a tree fell on one, and there was a child that died, but a lot of it's from drowning. Unfortunately, the storm surge, and then the amount of money, it's just staggering. Boston-based insurance company Karen and Clark and Company is estimating Hurricane Michael the cost right now about $8 billion in insured losses. Total damage from storm surge are estimated to be $3.7 billion, of which about 10% will be insured. Emergency management officials are urging residents to stay off the streets until the utility crews and other services get their job done, clearing the hazards away so you can get in there. But it's just so bad that you can barely get a vehicle in there. So as of yesterday evening, the number was 370,000 customers were without power in Florida. 202,000 customers in Virginia were in nearly they were in the dark. 500,000 customers were without power across the Carolinas. And that tropical storm was reaping havoc already in the Carolinas, where, as all that storm-soaked ground, they thought they were done with the tropical weather, but it's not even November yet. And that Gulf water, the Atlantic water, is warm. So who knows? Florida Senator Marco Rubio said restoring power was going to be a long and difficult as the storm shredded, as he put it, the electric grid. He expected to take several days before crews could get even their trucks into the area due to the immense cleanup that needs to take place. Unbelievable damage and devastation, folks. Pray, first and foremost. Give what you can, whether it's small or we can give a little bit larger. But, just think about it. You got to put it in human terms because we see a lot more of this. Unfortunately, there's a lot of pain. And the storm maybe didn't touch you. I mean, Tampa Bay, we got some winds. There were some palm fronds blown around, and there was a little rain, a little wind, but we didn't have any damage. But if we did, you would hope and pray that there would be good people. And there are many people, good people, but they still need your help. Life as you know it is not going to be the norm for them in any time soon. Anytime soon. People have lost everything that they have. Everything. And a lot of elderly, a lot of families. Quite emotional. Great opportunity for the church to get in and show the love of Jesus. And that's for real. Unfortunately, a story that I stumbled on, and Kanye West has been the center of attention, and not in a good way, for CNN or MSNBC, CBS, ABC, you pick it. But CNN, they always seem to top all of them with their shrewd remarks, and rightly under fire for a segment on CNN Tonight with Don Lemon, in which they were talking about rapper Kanye West. He was referred to as, forgive me, but they used the term token Negro of the Trump administration. West did meet with the president at the White House to discuss a variety of topics, including prison reform, which I thought was positive. We need reform, something that he's been talking to the president about, reforming those that are behind bars, so maybe they can have some redemption before they get back on the streets so they don't commit more crimes. Imagine that. Preventing gang violence. But then they had to negatively attack him and say all kinds of bad things about Kanye West and his mental aptitude. What possibly could he contribute to this conversation? Here's some of that conversation. You got to hear it. As shocking as it might be, this is what went down on CNN. And I don't watch CNN. I really don't. And obviously because they're the fake news network, but they're the propaganda network. They're propaganda entirely. I just cannot say anything nice about this sitting president. Nothing that he's done has been good enough, unfortunately. All right, here's the Lemon Show.
Better get going. Don't you need time to powder?
Okay, that's not it. Here it is.
Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read. And we have this now, and now Donald Trump is going to use it and pervert it, and he's going to have somebody who can stand with him and take pictures.
Kanye West, it happens when Negroes don't read, and they're laughing. The other hosts are laughing. They think it's hilarious. Now, I say that there's African Americans there, but so African Americans, it's okay that they can say Negro? They can refer to Kanye as a Negro? The show needs to come off the air. Don Lemon's show needs to come off the air, go off the air as soon as possible. Yeah, they were laughing. The fellow panelists, we had Tara Setmeyer. She's a CNN political commentator. She's featured on other shows, but she was there, who informs viewers that the remark apparently is decades-old Chris Rock reference. It doesn't matter if it's decades old. You used it, and used it against Kanye West. And then the other commentator, Scott Jennings, and he was the only white panelist, appeared absolutely stunned at the comment that Lemon made a point to poke fun at the expression on his face when there was shock and disdain for what he had said. it kind of makes sense. Here's another comment.
In the black community, listen, black folks are about to trade Kanye West in the racial draft, okay? They've had it with him.
All right, folks, you know, when they go low, we go high. That was Michelle Obama. You've heard Eric Holder say we kick them. Earlier this week, we had Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky. Unfortunately, the senator that had his ribs broken. The same senator was at the baseball game when Scalise was shot. The same senator that had his ribs broke at his house from somebody that was a left-leaning loon. He suggests that we could see an assassination because of this climate. It's this kind of climate. It's this kind of rhetoric. We'll kick them we'll just kick them. We're not going to go high. Now, Michelle Obama heard those remarks, and I gotta give a little praise where praise is due to the First Lady, Michelle Obama, because she was not having it, and using what she had said with her dialogue, and her aberration for America is to go high when people go low. You don't stoop low. You don't go to that level. So she was deeply offended by it and did not like what he had to say. And listen, this is a message. You got the midterms. You got Senate seats open. You got the presidential elections going. Think about that. I just think that this is going to do so much more damage to good Democrats. And there are good Democrats in our country. But this does not do any good to provoke the, and CNN allows them to do this. Allows them to do it. Check this out.
What's funny to me is to watch all of these white people behind Donald Trump clapping away at the name of Kanye West.
Kanye West is in there to discuss prison reform and other very important subject matter. Kanye West actually has the attention of a lot of fans. And he's able to be a positive role model in their life. But that they got to insult his mental aptitude. Oh, wasn't he hospitalized? Doesn't he have some issues and maybe has some mental health issues? But we're not saying anything against mental health issues. But they just did. They contradict themselves again and again. These are horrible things. What was it? Don Imus, the I-Man? He said nappy-headed hose. And then listen to this one.
Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read.
I mean, that guy, black or white, doesn't matter. The guy should be fired. Get him off the air. Doesn't need to be commentator. The show needs to be canceled immediately. There needs to be some conversation there because it's very, very unfair to allow that check. I don't think it's cool. I don't think black people like to be called Negroes. I don't think that that's really sharp conversation. Really at all. And are you offended? Let me know about it on Facebook and Twitter. And it's hashtag Talk to Keith Allen. What do you think about this conversation with CNN with Mr. Lemon and his panelist? Do you think it's appropriate?
He's all of a sudden now the model spokesperson. He's the token Negro of the Trump administration.
I mean, they just went on and on and on. The token Negro of the Trump administration. There are plenty of African Americans that voted for Donald Trump, not just Kanye West that likes Donald Trump. There's millions of African Americans, folks, in our country that are pro-Trump. And by the way, Kanye gets that this administration has been helping African Americans make more money and get out of poverty and allow more opportunities for minorities in this country. Kanye gets it. And many other people do too. It's not just Kanye. But I praise him and I applaud him for his initiative to try to be making a difference in our world. That's something that all of us need to really do. But that is the left. Kick them when they're down. If there's something wrong with them, kick them. If there's something wrong with you, you shouldn't be able to give credence to anything. You can't give voice to anything if there's something wrong with you. People need to take a really look in the mirror like Michael Jackson's song. He had some good songs. Man in the Mirror.